I'll give you an example. When you talk about Python, for example, you can mention that, like, does anyone know where the Python name coming from? How it came about?
I'm guessing because of those comedians from Britain.
Yes, I mean, it's on the slide, it's so simple. But I thought that it's a good idea to sort of mention that the Dutch programmer Van Rossum, who actually invented Python, he thought that he was watching that British comedy, and he thought it's a kind of a short, unique and mysterious way to name it, and now, you know, Python is one of the most popular coding languages. From our area, if you look at Databricks history, it's quite fascinating history, and you can see it's going back to the academic time, back to university. And I'm not sure, like initially it was a university project which turned to be a company and turned to be a big business. So, anyone know Scala, by the way? Scala? Do you use much Scala at work? Yeah. So if you go to the origin of all those languages, that's kind of one of the slides you can show to people on how it all evolved from, you know, very basic languages back to 1940s to, you know, languages of 70s and 60s like BASIC, then, you know, C, C#, and obviously you can see our Python here, 1990s, then Scala, 2005 around, and it's good to have that picture sort of in your mind, so you can actually understand how it all came about. And obviously you can drill to as many details as you can, but I'm just trying to give you an overview. You know, with my work, I spend lots of time on web analytics and user interface as well, UX type of challenges. And I think that with presentation, it's not much different. You just need to prepare presentations like you're preparing your digital product and make sure that users will be satisfied with the outcome. So that's why I put those together, you know, UX and public speaking. I have example of not a great slide, I call it, because say for example you're trying to explain to your audience the idea of combustion engine. You can use that slide, or you can use and start to talk about about the transferring of chemical energy into kinetic energy, and have that slide. But why not have a slide with the image where actually you can see it? It's much more fascinating, and to see that sort of image. And instead of trying to explain everything with the words using slides. Obviously, engaging your audience is very important. And what would be the best way? It's a question to you. What are the best ways to engage audience? Anyone?
What's the question?
Yes, that's the one. And actually, I have an answer on that slide. It's the last line, but in German. So I was trying to do something unexpected, but yeah, I'll try to go maybe even further than that. Verbal fluency is very important. It's, for example, please name the animal starting from T. Termite, tiger. So the better verbal fluency you have, the better presenter you are, and you can sort of get along with explaining lots of ideas using all kinds of terms. And it's also when your presentation gets sort of to the middle, and you think that the audience may be starting to drift off. You can try to do something unexpected to bring them back. And what can you do? Obviously, there are certain rules and regulations, but I'm being very nervous at this presentation, so can I have a smoke? Anyone got a lighter? Oh, I know, you're going to say smoking kills. But did you actually know that there are around 6 times more people dying from diabetes than from lung cancer? And if I pull a cigarette, that's a big no-no, obviously we can't smoke here. But if I pull a Snicker bar, nobody cares, even though 6 times more people die from diabetes. And by the way, I just all made it. Well, the smoking. You can also see that when you do certain research, when you go to the to study all that subject, you can see that lots of people smoking their whole life and nothing happens to them. That actually the biggest determination that you can die from lung cancer, it's not smoking, it's in your DNA. And by the way, I just all made it up. That's not true. But when I told that story to the group of my friends, 5 of them believed every word I said, and 2 of them started to smoke.
Does that mean you only have 7 friends?
Yeah. So, if you can tell stories in between the slides of your presentation, it's making things more lively. And remember, the presentation is not about your slides; it's about you. So show your personality. What to do if you forget something or something goes wrong? Mobile phones going on or something else happened. Basically, you just need to improvise. Keep calm, carry on. You can use it actually and make some additional comments. And you have to remember that your audience wants you to succeed. So whatever happens, it's not going to bring you down. So hopefully, it's not going to bring me down as well. It's important to also, as I mentioned before, repeat main concepts in your speech, and I'm repeating myself again, but the situation is that most of the time when you have a large audience, like you guys really faithful to me tonight, it's great, but when you have an audience of, say, 200 people, 300 people, I can guarantee you that 20% of they are not there. They are on their phones, they may be thinking about something else. So they may miss something. So that's why you need to come back and you need to maybe repeat the same idea. And we call it, you need to get them back on the bus. So obviously never read your slides. I know it's very hard, but it's boring, and you need to sort of be well prepared, and except for the title, you shouldn't be reading your slides. Make it more of a discussion, answering question. Use images and charts. And the interesting thing is that if you have slides which are like, I'm trying to limit my slides to those 5-6 points. But if you have very large slides, people rather reading slides than listening to a presenter. There was a survey being done after presentation, and one of the guys said, it was a great presentation, but I wish the speaker didn't talk so much because I couldn't focus on reading the slides. So that's how far it goes. And by the way, that's I found this on the internet. So does this annoy you? Hello, you can start reading the slide now. While you're reading this, I will read it aloud to you. It might be the first time for both of us. Why are we doing this? Because I didn't prepare a real presentation. Hey, I'm not the first presenter to do this, so you can't blame me. We both want to end this soon, but it won't end soon. Luckily, my one will end soon. So use charts, use infographics, data maps, timelines. Data visualization is a big thing, obviously, now we know. Successful company that love data visualization. Also, if you can connect seemingly remote ideas, like for example, we're talking data engineering about ELT or ETL, but I've chosen the ELT because when you talk ELT, when you are suddenly in the astrophysics with the people who are doing astrophysics, you know, they also have ELT, but it means extremely large telescopes. So I mean, if you can make some connections with remote idea, I think it's making it interesting. Again, with the slides, less is more. Some people say that slides should be like billboards. So reducing amount of text is always a good idea. How about using company logos on the slide? You have to ask yourself a question. Does that bring the value to the presentation if you have company logo on every slide? And probably it doesn't, so maybe limit yourself to the first and last slide with your company logo and then just don't bring it. Because some people are just getting irritated to see the same logo all the time. Can you learn from the bad presentation? Yes, you can, but why torture your audience on this? Important thing is how to end presentation. So don't just like sort of end presentation in the middle of nowhere. People will get confused. I was on some presentation a month ago and there was someone talking and the guy had like 10 slides and then he stopped. And everyone was looking at each other like, is that it? So you need to tell people that it's coming to the end. And yeah, it's also a good time to tell a joke. People are already adjusted to your voice, and the jokes really work better at the end of presentation. And when you tell a joke, when people have when they have fun, they may think that they had fun all the time. So some slides, sometimes people actually using, for example, that type of slide at the end of presentation. And sometimes I see this slide for like 20 minutes when there is question time. And it's really, you shouldn't be doing this because it's a waste of precious real estate. Some people say this. Thank you. Some people say, the end? So those slides, they do nothing to you. You need to have a slide which have the main points of your presentation, or just a little bit of advertising, you know, about yourself, you know. Or you can also end presentation like Bill Clinton does. Anybody knows how Bill Clinton ends the presentation? Like.
Maybe so he's presenting it to with Monica or somebody else.
Well, yeah, if it's a big presentation, say like it's a, you know, their big conference, democratic conference or something like that. So usually Bill Clinton goes like that. God bless you and God bless America. So I want to end it, God bless you and God bless Ship-It Corporation. And that's it for me, that's my contact details. I will, if we have time for questions.
Yeah, round of applause for Darius.